So this is the fifth experiment in the C++ programming lab, and there are three exercises in this experiment. This experiment is arrays, so now let's look at them. So the first exercise is a program which takes in an array of numbers, and we have to find out how many even numbers have been entered, how many odd numbers have been entered, and also the number of zeros. So in this program, first we have declared the variables that we have needed, and then we have taken the input of the number of elements in the array, and then a for loop is used to take the input of all the elements one by one up to n, and then another for loop exists which starts, and here every element is compared to be either 0, or if the element mod 2 equal to 0, or if it's not equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, then a counter 0 is used and it's incremented by 1, and if the element mod 2 equal to 0, then a even counter is used and this counter is incremented by 1 if this condition is true. Or if the element mod 2 is not equal to 0, then it's declared as odd, and hence this odd counter is incremented by 1. Else if it doesn't match any of these cases, then a cout statement prints that it has an error. So every time an element is encountered, it's decided whether it's even or odd, and these counters are incremented respectively. And at the end of the program, the number of even elements, odd elements, and zeros in the array are outputted. So now let's look at the output of this program. So I'm going to input 6 elements. As you can see, I have entered 6 elements, and 2 of them are even, that's 2 and 4, and 3 of them are odd, that's 1, 7 and 3, and there is 1 0, so that is displayed as 1. Hence the output is correct, hence this program is working properly. Now let's move on to the next program. So this program is a C++ program to print a transpose of a matrix. So first the required variables are declared, and then the order of the matrix is taken in, and then again each element is taken as input by using these two nested for loops, and here the inputted matrix is printed again using the same nested for loops and printing out a of I comma j. Here as we can see, I and j are used to take the inputs, and there are m rows in this matrix and n columns in this matrix. So in a transpose, the rows and columns are switched. Hence to print out the transpose of a matrix, what we do is instead of printing a of I comma j, we print a of j comma I, and this time I is less than the number of columns in the original matrix, and j is less than the number of rows in the original matrix. Hence the rows and columns are interchanged and the correct transpose of the matrix is printed. Now let's look at the output of this program. So now I'll be using a 3 by 3 matrix, so 3 and 3, and I will be using the numbers 1 through 9. As you can see here, I have entered the matrix 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 8 9, and they have been put into rows properly, and the rows are switched into columns, and that will be the transport of the matrix. Hence we can see the column here 147 is switched as a row, and here 258 is switched as a row, and this column 369 is again switched as a row. Hence the proper transpose of the matrix is obtained. Hence this program is also working properly. Now let's move on to the next program. Then so this next program is used to find out the second largest element in an array. So for this here what I have used is first declared the necessary variables, then I have taken in the size of the array for n elements, hence that is taken in. After that I use for loops to take in the elements one by one, so each element is taken in. After that, what I have done is sorted the for loop in a descending order. So for this I have used two for loops. One which starts from I equal to 0 goes up to I less than n and I plus plus, and the nested for loop inside that is j equals I plus 1 and again j less than n and j plus plus. So what this does is compares a of I and a of j. If a of I is less than a of j, then the values of a of I and a of j are swapped. So this happens continuously until the elements are sorted in a descending order. So after this I know that the highest value is at a of 0 and the second largest value is at a of 1. Hence I will be printing out the value at a of 1. Hence now let's look at the output of this program. So I will be using 5 elements over here. So as you can see here, I have entered 2, 4, 79, 45 and 101, in which 101 is the highest number and the second largest number would be 79, and that has been outputted. Hence all three programs are working properly, and this is the end of the fifth experiment in the C++ lab. Thank you.